Right, today I'm going to have a look at propagating passion flowers by cuttings. Now I know a lot of people are a bit intimidated by the idea of taking cuttings and think it's actually a difficult thing to do. It's not, it's actually one of the easiest ways. I find it much easier than actually sowing seeds and more reliable, and you get bigger plants quicker. So here is a stem of a passion flower. This one is pura vida, and I'll post a picture of the flower underneath. This one has been this stem has been hanging downwards, so all the leaves are effectively upside down. So you have to look a little bit carefully if, unlike this case, you haven't actually got an end piece to show you which way up it goes. But if you take the stipules off here, it's usually very clear which side all the bits are emerging from. So first thing you do is you find the bottom leaf here, and you cut, just to make sure we can see that, you cut straight across where the leaf joins the plant, so you end up with an end like so, and then you cut it above the next leaf, and that is your first cutting. So we look at this, and this is going to be a bit weird because it'll be facing downwards, but we'll live with that. I just tend to clear this bit off a little bit, get rid of any tendrils, any flowers that are there, and also for the purposes of what we're doing, I cut back the leaves, so it's actually quite a small leaf that's left. So this I'm just going to put on one side for a moment and show you how we deal with the rest of it, because we'll be using jam jars for this, and also these. This is a peat pellet. I've had these hanging around for ages. If I buy any more, I'll go with coir, and they work just as well. They do tend to be a bit more crumbly, but I've had great success with those. So what you do with this is you put it into a jar of water and leave it for about half an hour. And here's one I prepared earlier, and if you'll see here, it's swelled up, and we've got a nice little thing to put cutting in. So I put that onto the lid of a jam jar, and then I take the cutting I've made and I just simply take that and I stick that in the top, and I'm not in the least bit worried about the fact that that's facing downwards now. I've almost finished, in fact, because all I have to do is take a sprayer and make sure that both upside and downside of the leaf have got plenty of water on them, and then I find the rest of my jam jar, which I then carefully put over the top. What I've now got in effect is a sealed unit that's not going to require any attention at all for the next 2 weeks. I can put that on in a heated propagator, though it might get a bit hot there at the moment, or even in a window. So long as it doesn't get direct sunlight, which will tend to boil it, that will then grow on. I've got another one here. You can see I've got more material here. I tend not to use the very tips because they tend to collapse more quickly. That said, as you'll see in a minute, that works quite well. So this now can go on a window ledge, and if you're working with children with this, as an ex-teacher, I'm very familiar with that. If you put it somewhere and then forget about it for 2 weeks, it won't die. It's got everything it needs in there, water and air, and hopefully sufficient light. And in a couple of weeks, here's one from 3 weeks ago, you just take the lid off, and I don't know if you can see that clearly, there's a nice little piece of root coming out. So all I need to do now, find myself a pot, stick that in there, probably need to dig that out a bit deeper, stick that in there, fill that up, and there we have a perfectly good new passion flower plant. This one is actually Bellottii, not pura vida, but that is all there is to it. It couldn't get any easier than that. That's it. And next time we'll look at something a little bit bigger. We'll be looking at how to propagate and sete bananas. Till then, have fun and get yourself loads of plants.